What is going on, guys? Over here, and welcome to the start of my F1 2015 career mode. Oh damn it, that just feels good to say, just really does. But
well, that's a bit awkward. Shit.
This weekend, we're at Kuala Lumpur for the Malaysia Grand Prix, and we're starting off with today's practice session. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the action. So after the first race, how do you think this season will compare to previous years?
Well, I hope that we're in for a fantastic season. The Mercedes team have certainly come out of pre-season testing the strongest, which is all well and good, but it's the racing where the pace really counts. It's always difficult to predict, therefore, who's going to come out on top.
The new regulations for this year say goodbye to the somewhat unique nose designs that we saw on the 2014 cars.
The 2014 changes were brought in to promote safety, but I don't think it was anticipated how the teams would exploit the regulations. This year, those regulations have been tightened up to give us a more traditional look to the noses on the 2015 cars.
How reassuring that they've given Pastor Maldonado David Coulthard's chin for this year's game. Hey guys, Harrison Warren here, back at once again with a brand new video for you, and welcome to episode 2 of our F1 Championship season with Sebastian Vettel. Last time out we finished in second in Australia after a difficult but actually strangely rewarding race in how we managed to come back from a puncher to go on to get on the podium in the end and bring home a 1-2 finish for Ferrari, which was, you know, very pleasurable indeed, despite the fact I was on the 2 end of that 1-2. Hopefully we can avoid that for future reference. Now, before I get started in this episode, I just wanted to point out something I noticed a lot in the comments. A lot of people are asking me, what assists do I run, and, you know, what difficulty are you playing at, yada yada yada. One, this shit shouldn't matter. Okay? I am not here to play the game at the highest difficulty. Shut up, Todd. I'm not here to set lap records. I'm not here to time trial. I'm not here to play the game and push myself. I'm here to have fun. That's what I've always believed in. That's what I've always wanted to do. That's what I've always tried to do in my videos. I'm not about to try and struggle in 9th or 10th place and, you know, have cars constantly line up to try and pass me every lap, because I did that for so many years on previous career modes and I didn't like it. That's why I didn't do one for F1 2014. So please, can you just do me one honest favour and stop moaning at me in the comments about turning the assists off or turning the driving lineup, or you're a noob, you play like this. Yeah, if you play on a higher difficulty or without assists, good for you. Awesome. I'm not like that. I don't have the time to do that. I don't want to turn my gaming hobby into a chore. That's not how I do things. So please, stop. That's all I ask. Anyway, for the rest of you who don't normally complain and actually enjoy this content, here's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to set myself up here real quick. I'm not going to use one of those proper hardcore in-depth sell-ups that, you know, other guys are using, because hey, I want to make it a bit more fun that way. I'm going to use a preset in this one, actually. I'm actually going to go with the increased downforce setup on this one. So I'm going to keep it to that for the time being. I'm going to get a few practice laps in, just so I can, you know, get my feel in for the car right now, and I'll report back later with my findings. But until then, I'll catch you in a bit.
Today has been Sebastian Vettel's day. P1 in practice, and I'm sure he'll be looking forward to a similar performance in qualifying tomorrow.
Okay, just did a little, like, 6-lap run just to have a feel of how the prime tyres were. The tyre weight seems to be very good, actually. I did 6 laps, didn't have any major problems. The car felt pretty good. There's definitely a little bit of time in that 140 dead I just set there. Obviously, practice is practice, so you don't want to read too much into that. But yeah, one thing I didn't even realise about the game in general is that When you're doing a practice session, the engineer actually tells you little bits of advice about the track, about the nature of the weather, the climate, trying to test out different setups. It's a nice little touch, actually. You know, the game's presentation really has much improved this year, and it's little things like that which do make a big difference, especially if you're a new player to the franchise, which a lot of people could be, given the fact you're on next-gen consoles. But, yeah, let's get to qualifying.
Sit back and put your feet up as we head into qualifying here in Kuala Lumpur. Over the next few minutes, we'll find out who's got pace in the car and who hasn't. Last year we saw a wonderful race here in Malaysia, and I'm expecting another fascinating weekend to come here in Kuala Lumpur.
Well, there are at least 3 or 4 other drivers that could be strong contenders for a front row start tomorrow, so it's difficult to predict who will come out on top, but it's certainly going to be an exciting qualifying session today.
You couldn't see that Romain Grosjean was basically telling Andy Davidson to keep quiet, basically, for that segment. But okay, here's hoping this isn't going to be as broken a qualifying session as last time. But who knows? I mean, in case you didn't see it in Australia, I was 2 seconds faster on pole position by everybody else, which just didn't make any sense. But yeah, okay, let's do it. Let's see what happens. Not bad. Not bad. Well, that was only with the fuel mix on standard. There's more in that if I feel like it. Okay, for future reference, I may just start from the back and not bother qualifying, because how can I be 3 seconds faster in the final sector? That is mind-boggling. Is this another one of these games glitches? Because I've seen guys like Tyrrell Martin post screenshots of like ridiculous qualifying differences in pace. But if this keeps up, I'm probably just not going to bother and just start from the back every round, because I don't want to exploit the AI to that extent. But if they're going 3 seconds a lap, or 3 seconds a sector slower in Sector 3, then what's the point, really? I mean, that's completely ridiculous, and that should not be happening. That's unacceptable from Codemasters, because the AI is unreasonably slow in the final sector. How can they be 3 seconds slower? It doesn't make any sense. And then they're faster than me in the middle sector. It's baffling. That's a bit better from Rosberg at the end there. Where did that come from? This game makes no sense whatsoever. For the love of God, somebody fix it. Cody's, if you're listening.
What a day for the team and Sebastian Vettel. He's put in the fastest lap of the session, and he's on pole.
Definitely. He really has pushed himself and the car to the limits today, and he was duly rewarded. It was such a wonderful result.
Mind-boggling. So all of a sudden, not only is it glitched to the fact that I'm like 3.5 seconds a lap faster than my own teammate, Rosberg broke off a lap that was 1.1 seconds faster than his teammate in the same car right at the end, and nobody else had a response for it. Doesn't make any sense. Maybe if I did full qualifying, it would make a bit more sense because of the open space that, you know, having only 10 cars in a session could provide. Because it's an 18-car qualifying session as opposed to a 10-car qualifying session. But you need to run 100% races to do that, which is just also ridiculous. So, yeah, I can only apologise, guys. I mean, that was the first qualifying lap I set. It's not even close to what I could do. I think I could get into the 37s if I really wanted to. I was only on fuel mix 2 for that entire lap. I could easily do a lot more. I can only apologise, guys. It's not entirely my fault, but I can only apologise on Codemasters' behalf for being so asinine with their AI logic. Right, on to the race.
Good afternoon and welcome from Sepang, where the cars and drivers are getting ready to start the Malaysia Grand Prix. A strong qualifying performance from Sebastian Vettel yesterday sees him start today's race on pole. He should be feeling really positive about his chances of winning here, shouldn't he?
He'll want to end this weekend on a high after yesterday's fantastic performance, but he's going to have a lot of competition. I doubt he'll be expecting an easy race, especially considering the teams around him.
How does Nico Rosberg go about finding the time he was lacking at the end of qualifying in today's race?
Well, he's got to stay within touching distance of the lead during the first stint and then look to capitalise as the car becomes lighter and the tyre degradation eases.
Still find it laughable with 2.5 seconds faster than Lewis. Has Lewis Hamilton ever been out-qualified by 2.5 seconds in any racing discipline he's ever done? Really? I find that unlikely. But, what can you do? Okay, so starting tyres locked. I don't know why you can't adjust your race strategy or have more than one option. Like, they say that, you know, you're going to the simulation, there's only one viable option. But that's not your decision to make. That should be my decision to make. But, what can you do? Okay. The Malaysian Grand Prix. Can you replicate Sebastian's real-life achievement and win the Malaysian Grand Prix and shock the world and give people some false hope about Ferrari this season? Probably not, but let's see what happens anyway. Here comes the ultra-fast red lights of death. And we're off. Having the race line into turn 1 definitely helps, I'll say that much. But both Mercs have had a blinding start here. Gonna try and hang it around the outside here and then cut back in. Oh, Hamilton going very wide there. Is he where my car is there, Lewis? Well, that was an excellent exit on the corner here. Rosberg under some early pressure. Oh, do I dare try and move it? Just about kept it on track limits. But we got him, and Rosberg's now down to third. Hamilton's passed him through as well, so... The AI is still a little bit reluctant to engage in some actions, but I think they only take that kind of extreme defensive... not defensive, sorry, but extreme avoiding action stance if, you know, you're driving a bit too quick for your own good, I suppose. But, you know, I'm glad the AI isn't bone slow off the line like in last year's game either. You know, you don't want to give people an unrealistic aim of making their way through the field. But, yeah, we got Hamilton behind us. This is going to be fun. Looks like it was faster off the exit too. Are the Mercs that much faster in a straight line down here? I know I'm running an increased downforce setup, so I'm aiming more for corner speed than straight line, but it's looking like Hamilton is all over me here. This could be a big defensive fight if it comes down to it, but the lack of straight line speed in this Ferrari for this race is going to come back to bite me by the looks of it. I mean, I can't wait for when DRS opens. Can you? Now got a 1 second lead here, so looks like the increased downforce is helping through the corners, as any F1 fan with half a brain cell could work out. Mind you, I do not like that corner before this straight. I'm always terrible around it, and I think the brake-by-wire system in this year's game has a lot to do with that. I know the braking's been redone as part of this new handling model, and like it doesn't work as well when you have to kind of brake and steer at the same time. But that was the fastest lap of the race, so I'm not complaining too much either. The ironic thing is that lap would have put me third on the grid. I'm already getting vibes of the real-life race from earlier this season where, after the safety car, Mercs just didn't have an answer for Seb, and it feels like I'm just riding on the edge to try and keep up. But that was a terrible exit from that corner, and now here comes Hamilton. With DRS, this should be clean cut. Oh! Banged wheels a bit there, actually. I don't know, like, I don't know if I just wanted to break straight for the corner, and the next thing you know, I'm bumped onto his rear tyre, but not a deal breaker. Here comes Hamilton again now with DRS. He's going to zoot past. Oh, and he blocked the line quite well there, actually. Fair play, AI. Oh, got 3 wide. And somehow he come out of that in the lead. I feel what I was going to say is that after he passed me, I was going to try and switch back and take the inside line there, but no, Hamilton parked it right where the car needed to be. That's impressive from the AI, I have to say. The AI are much better in this year's games. You can race them wheel to wheel, and it looks like Hamilton suffered some kind of problem there. Good exit there. That was much better. Rosberg's got the RS, but I don't think he's going to make a move this time. I'm going to go full Catalunya 2015 on him here if I have to. Tyres are definitely starting to fade though. Side by side, going to give Nico the room on this one. Not quite enough on this one. Nice battle though. We've got a nice little feud going on here. Rosberg can't quite get the move stuck, but he's definitely fast enough to at least try it. The only thing that worries me is that Hamilton is actually taking a little bit of time out of the two of us. He'll catch up, and I've got a 2-on-1 fight again. I don't want that. I don't want to be treated to a silver bukake at the moment. For some reason, the AI don't bother slipstreaming on this back straight for DRS, but hey, they get 2 bites of the cherry because they get double DRS down here now, so it's always the main straight that's the problem. Going side by side, going to try and hang it around the outside again. And again, we hang on to it. Nice driving, Seb. Come on. I'm channeling your fantastic defensive driving ability. Let's go. Not going to lie, I don't know how much of this is down to the game or how much of this is down to my own ambient room temperature, but I am currently sweating right now. Like, literally drops. Is this what it feels like to be a Tyrrell Limitless in the league race? That's how I feel right now. Don't worry, kids. In this mode, there's no chance my internet disconnects. Very close to us, but again, he won't do it this time. It'll be the second time round he'll try the pass. And this time, I'm going to force him to go the long way around this time. No, he's taking the far right this time. Third time's a charm. Not. Nice driving, Nico. I got caught out by that bait and switch to go far right. I thought I was going to force him to take the left-hand side of the road, but nope. He dug it in using that DRS, dug it into and committed to that right-hand side. Nicely done. Now the tyres have lost so much grip now that yeah, you could literally feel the oversteer when I start to put my foot down coming out of these corners. I'm going to force him to go the long way around here. And that time it also worked a charm. Loving this battle though. Loving this battle. I'm going like 4 seconds a lap slower than I was at the start of this stint. Oh, Kimi's out. Why? But we survived. And they're boxing the Mercedes together. Now, why would they do that? Hamilton's going to get screwed here. Oh, Lewis. This is going to be all over Sky Sports F1 in the morning. And no, we've been held up. We've been held up. We had to come out behind Rosberg. I knew that was going to happen. Son of a bitch! Going 3 wide into this turn, that's not going to work. We bump into Rosberg. Kvyat now leads because he hasn't stopped yet. And yes, we passed Nico. And just a reminder that Kimi's out. Like, we've only used like 25% of our fuel and we're like 10 laps in. They fuel these cars up really conservatively. Not that I'm complaining or anything. Let's crank it up a notch, shall we, for a little bit. First lap of the race, that's nice. Rosberg now 3.1 seconds back. So we were a second faster over the line this time around. Nice. 39.5, excellent. Where's Rosberg at? 4.3 seconds back now. We are a second a lap faster than the Mercs on rich fuel mix. This is excellent. This is what we need. Honestly, I'm surprising myself with my own pace here. I'm not even joking. I did not think I'd be this good. Malaysia is not a strong track for me by any stretch. Maybe I've just been underestimating myself this whole time, but I'm surprised at this. And yeah, apparently we're now going to be in that tire conservation phase now. I am starting to get a bit slower now. Seriously, don't believe all the internet talk. This game is very, very good from a single player offline standpoint. This game is very rewarding to drive, and it actually makes you more consistent. I don't know how, I don't know exactly what does it, but I've never been more consistent while driving this game before. Just don't hit him. There we go. Don't do a Grosjean. Lovely. So did they manage to replicate the Mercedes lack of pace around Malaysia? No, I'm joking, because Mercs weren't slow around Malaysia. Make no mistake. People forget that during that last stint, Mercs did take about half the advantage. Hamilton took about half the gap that Vettel had out during the course of that final stint. It's just they weren't good enough to be able to run a 2-stopper and be fast enough to justify it. Well, yeah, their 3-stopper just wasn't fast enough to make a difference. And that's what made that Malaysia race all the more astonishing, because that was the first time in this era of hybrids that, for me, Mercs were beaten straight up, head to head. You know, it wasn't like last year Ricciardo won 3 rounds, but in all 3 rounds the Mercs had issues. Like in Hungary, where Hamilton had to start from the pit lane, and Rosberg was screwed by the safety car timings, and he had to pit and lose track position, which is so important in Hungary because it's impossible to pass around there half the time. And Spa, where the Mercs collided, and Canada, where they both had massive MGU failures. So, for that to happen was astonishing. And, for me, that might have been the greatest moment for me as a Sebastian Vettel fan ever. Just sitting there and being able to admire what was going on and how Vettel had earned it. He was completely fast enough to do it, and I was blown away by that. Ask Ryan King about this on Twitter. It's a true story that after that race, me and him were watching on Skype together live during that race. And honestly, after he won, I just broke down in tears and I started crying because it meant that much to me. And after last season's pain, where, Ricciardo was amazing last year, made Vettel look stupid, and I got so much criticism and complaints like, Vettel's been exposed, it was all the car because Ricciardo's come in and beaten him this year, and, after all the bad luck that Sebastian had that season. I'm not saying that he would have beaten Ricciardo otherwise, because Ricciardo was fantastic last season, and he deserved all the credit he got, and, he was my personal driver of the year after all, so I'm not saying this as a dig at Ricciardo, but it just meant so much that, the Ferrari switch seemed to be almost immediately vindicated. Because man, I'm telling you, that it meant so much. It really did. I can't tell you enough just how much it meant. So, yeah, you know, I'm telling you stories to fill the time here, but you know, also it's just nice seeing another German guy in the red, so to speak, because you know, I grew up a huge Michael Schumacher fan, and you know, an admirer, and I think a lot of young people did. And you know, seeing Vettel, my favourite guy under the red, it took a while to get used to because I've been so used to. Hang on a minute, a 3-second time penalty for corner cutting, and then I got a puncher. Let's try this again, shall we? Wow, that is indeed a puncher. Well, thank God that happened then, where I didn't really lose any time. So, 10 laps on these primes, and we bring it home in one piece. Wonder if they boxed the Mercs together this time. Looks like they didn't. It looks like... no, I'm still in the lead, actually, so... Who's coming through? Sergio Perez unlapping himself. Okay, not a big deal. It looks like if you push your tyres too hard in this game, you will get punches now. I know after I did my race, my brother tested that same theory by doing exactly what I did in the exact same conditions, and he got a puncher too. Almost the exact same time. It was that very corner last time out where he had a puncher too. So it looks like, you know, your tyres drop off a little bit, but then bang, puncher. And I don't know what happened. I know someone in the comments was saying, oh well, you know, there's like the contact where Raikkonen did it, but it was a slow puncher. Well, how do you explain this one then? Because I didn't hit anything on that one. Happened before and after the flashback. Did anybody read about that story yesterday that Lewis Hamilton was turned away from the All England Tennis Club for the Wimbledon final on Sunday because he didn't follow the dress code? Mind you, he did come again looking like a combination of Gok Wang and a shower curtain. Like, people have been telling me, Dre, but you know, the All England Tennis Club is stupid. They have really silly rules, and I know people are asking me about that, and my response was simple. It might be a stupid rule, but that's the rule the place sets. Just because it's dumb doesn't mean that it gives you a free pass to break it. You respect the culture of the club. It's like, for example, if a club says no trainers, and I roll up to the club with trainers, why should I still get to walk in? Don't get me wrong, I know it's a really, really silly story and I shouldn't even be talking about it right now, but one, I'm trying to fill a little bit of time on this video. Because it looks like I'm going to cakewalk this victory, and I really don't feel like I deserved it, especially if you saw that first stint, because the first stint I was not that much faster than... In fact, I was slower than Rosberg. So I don't know why on the fresher rubber after the stops that I've been this much better than these guys, but... You know... I'm trying... Oh, hang on. What's happened to Rosberg? What's happened to Rosberg here? Hang on. Hang on a minute. Rosberg is down to 5th. He's in the garage. Something has happened. I can't believe I've done this. I cannot believe we've won in this fashion. Still an eventful race, especially at the start, but stints 2 and 3 have been astonishing. Wow, I can't believe this is going to happen. But we're going to take the final corner, and we're going to cross the line to take the checkered flag and win the Malaysian Grand Prix. Get in there! Oh my God. Yes! Yes, 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 yes. Oh my God. I'm so happy I've won this race. Oh, it's a carbon copy, really, wasn't it? Oh. Good, Vettel already looks drunk on that podium. Holy crap. Oh my god, wow.
Moves up to the top of the driver's table with that win, which must feel very ominous for the other teams on the grid.
Yes, definitely. After how he's dominated seasons in recent years, the teams will be nervously wondering what they have to do to beat the four-time world champion.
After all that excitement, it's time for a lie down, I think. Thanks for joining us, and goodbye until the next race.
That's astonishing. What a result. A 22.8 second win over Lewis Hamilton in second. Valtteri Bottas rounding off the podium in third. A great result for Daniel Ricciardo there in fourth for Red Bull Racing. If it was real life, that'd be matching their best result of the season so far. Felipe Massa fifth. Jenson Button in sixth for McLaren. That's a superb result for McLaren. Well done, JB, ahead of Max Verstappen in seventh. Danilo Kvyat in eighth. Nico Hulkenberg ninth. And Romain Grosjean rounding off the points in 10th place. Two DNFs, Nico Rosberg and Kimi Räikkönen both did not finish, which is huge for the championship. As you can see here now, we now lead the Drivers' Championship by 13 points over Lewis Hamilton. Valtteri Bottas is now joint second, with 30 points alongside him. Kimi Räikkönen still dining on only on that win from Australia in fourth with 25 points ahead of Daniel Ricciardo's 22. Nico Rosberg down to 8th with just 8 points to his name after a pair of unfortunate results. In the Constructors' Championship, Ferrari now lead by 28 points over Williams in second. It's Williams in second with Mercedes in third after the bad start to the season that Nico Rosberg has had. And they're under pressure from Red Bull in fourth, who are just 8 points behind them as well. In the battle of the mid-card teams, now with the 6th place, McLaren Honda jump up into 5th place ahead of Toro Rosso's 8 points, Sauber with 6, Force India with 2, and Lotus with just the 1 point after Grosjean's 10th place today. Mana Mauritius still the only team without points on the board. But, yeah, that was it was an interesting race, that. I didn't think it was going to be that straightforward in the second and third stints. Again, I'm surprised at my own level of pace and the fact there wasn't a great big tyre drop-off, really until the lap I was going to pit. So, the tyre wear was also great, much better than in Australia for me. I didn't drop off like I did before, so I was very happy with that and in that department. So, yeah, overall, delighted with that result. Sorry it wasn't the most entertaining race in the second half, but I still hope you got at least a decent and captivating video. But until next time, I've been Harrison101. Thank you very much for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed, and I will catch you guys next time. Until next time, sayonara.